Welcome. My name is Peter Strong. I'm a psychotherapist based in Colorado, and I offer online therapy over Skype for treating anxiety and depression, addictions, and also I get a lot of requests for help with OCD and particularly with very troubling intrusive thoughts and intrusive images. The approach that I use is called Mindfulness Therapy, which is extremely good at helping you break free from repetitive, intrusive thoughts and memories and images. The most important thing that we must get right from the beginning is to break the habit of fear reaction to the intrusive thoughts. Many people are very distressed by intrusive thoughts, and it's quite natural to react with fear and also with hatred for these thoughts. You just want them to go away at any cost. But the trouble is that reaction of fear and hatred ends up feeding those thoughts. It makes them more intense, and that will cause them to become even more intrusive. From experience in the field of mindfulness psychology that's becoming quite popular these days, it's quite clear that the winning strategy is actually to do the exact opposite of reacting with fear or aversion, and that is to develop a friendly and compassionate relationship with those intrusive thoughts and troublesome images. This may seem very counterintuitive, but it's not. The way it works is that by learning how to form a non-reactive relationship with those thoughts, you basically break the habit that feeds the intrusive thoughts. When you break the habit that feeds them, then they begin to subside and lose strength quite naturally, like any thought would do. Any thought that arises in the mind has a strength to it when it first arises, has an emotional charge that keeps it in the mind, but that emotional charge quickly dissipates, and for most of the time, for most kinds of thoughts, the thoughts simply disappear when that emotional charge has dissipated. But with intrusive thoughts and intrusive images and memories, that emotional charge does not dissipate. And the main reason why it doesn't dissipate is because you inadvertently continue feeding that emotional charge through your reactivity to the thoughts. Now, when you develop friendliness or compassion, which is the essence of mindfulness, towards those thoughts, you basically take away this fuel source, and that allows the thoughts to naturally subside and lose their emotional charge and intensity. So that's the first very important principle. The way that we go about doing this and helping those intrusive thoughts neutralize themselves and lose their emotional charge is by, surprisingly enough, by meditating on those intrusive thoughts directly. So you deliberately bring them into the mind, but you cultivate this relationship that's not reactive to those thoughts. You have to train with the thoughts in order to break free from them. You cannot break free from intrusive thoughts or any other aspect of OCD by trying to eliminate the thoughts or trying to avoid them or distract yourself from them. Those are completely ineffective approaches. The best approach is to actually develop more consciousness around the thoughts. So that's the first part of mindfulness training, training how to be with the thoughts without becoming reactive. The second part of working with intrusive thoughts and memories and images is to work on changing the image structure of the emotions that are feeding those thoughts. This is quite an interesting area. It's quite novel for many people, but from my years of studying emotional suffering, as a psychotherapist, it's very clear to me that the primary ingredient of emotional suffering, anxiety, depression, and OCD is the imagery that is associated with those thoughts and emotions. And in the case of intrusive thoughts, the imagery is very vivid, very large, very close. It has certain properties that are what create the emotion itself. So when we can start to investigate this imagery, which happens when we start to develop a conscious, friendly relationship with the thoughts, then we can start to change that imagery. For example, we can consciously make the image of that disturbing thought or disturbing visual image, whatever it might be, memory or just intrusive visual thought, whatever that might be, we can actually make it smaller. You can consciously change its size. And when you make it smaller, you train the emotion to change its intensity, because the smaller it becomes, the less intense it will be. So the size of the thought is directly related to its intensity. The same applies for the distance between you as the observer and the thought. Intense and traumatic thoughts are almost always too close. So we can move them, we can change the position of our thoughts and memories in the mind. We can move them further away, which of course also makes them smaller. So it's by consciously interacting with the imagery and changing it that you can have a profound effect on decreasing the intensity of those intrusive thoughts. So this is another aspect of mindfulness therapy that I teach during these Skype therapy sessions. If you're interested in learning more about how to work with intrusive thoughts, how to free yourself from these very troubling thoughts and images, then please contact me. I will train you in how to apply mindfulness to work with intrusive thoughts, and it's one of the best methods available for overcoming intrusive thoughts and for working with other aspects of OCD. So please contact me if you'd like to schedule some online therapy sessions with me. Most people see quite dramatic changes and improvements after the first 3 or 4 sessions. I will teach you how to apply mindfulness, how to meditate on your intrusive thoughts and memories, and these mindfulness-based methods are methods that you can use yourself and apply at home between sessions, which of course greatly accelerates the process of recovery. So please contact me if you'd like to get started with this very effective approach to working with intrusive thoughts. Thank you.